Hello, how are you doing? So today is a very interesting day. We are waiting to be announcing the FOMC minute is just going to be released anytime. And for those who are following this, we are live on YouTube. Thank you so much for those who are joining this. I can see you. Shabs, I can see you. If you have any question, make sure that you click down on there. I'll just be checking on that. So before we even just do anything, I'm just going to be explaining what is formed meeting. We can just trend these. What are the important factors to consider? What do you have to be checking, and all those sort of things. So this is going to be very important in this case that we just be having here. Now let's start right now the meeting that was held last time we saw the interest rate decisions. Let's start with this definition across this area. So what is formed meeting before even we start trading this, because it's going to be very important. 10 p.m. we have like less than 1 hour to go before we get that minute. It's going to take time, but one of the things that you can just see into the market is the dollar is starting to gain. Dollar is actually gaining, as you can see, because the prices, you can see they are dropping. DXY is gaining. You can see the gold was like morning it was trading at 0 point, that is 30 there, around 30. Let me give you the actual features. Yeah, it was trading around 2030. But as we can talk about now, we are talking about 2023, and this has happened around the evening hours, less than few hours, where we got this big movement that actually happened from 2028 up to the prices that we are talking about 2023. And this is one of the reasons that people are selling, and the gold, the people are buying dollar. The dollar is continuing to gain, at least on this. And one of the things that you notice is the market is actually very volatile up to now. So that sounds very interesting. I'm ready to be taking the positions. I'm going to be showing you my position that I'm going to be taking here. I've already taken some little position here, of which I'm going to be holding for some time to see what we're just going to be getting around here. So dollar is continuing to trend. So what is formed meeting? Let's just go, and that is going to be helping us now to navigate before we are waiting, as we wait for this to be realized. So I'm going to let me go to the Federal Reserve Fund. So let's just go to the Fund wall, that is the website. And when we are talking about the Fund, let's just go, you can even just want to assess this meeting there, you want to assess all these minute to just go through, then you can just go to the Fund wall, that is fundsearch.org, and then you just see everything that is just posted here, and everyone can just see this. So when we talk about the formed meeting that it just be on here, we are talking about monetary policies where they actually discussed earlier, the meeting that was held. It consists, let's just talk about the Federal Reserve actually consists of 12 members, the 7 members of the board of governors of Federal Reserve System, the president of Federal Reserve Bank of New York, and 4 remaining 11 Reserve Bank president who serve 1-year term are rotating basis. So this is where it will explain what is this, who are these. You see the committee is actually listed around here, where we have the Jerome Powell being the board of chairman, and mostly when we have the high decisions that we made and all that, the press, we more normally follow the Powell speeches to actually know whether we are going to be expecting something like interest rate hike, monetary policy that is going to be announced, because the chairman delivers all those messages. When there is a press conference, we normally try to listen or what the Powell is saying, because he's actually the chairman of this committee. That's very important things to note from there. let's just proceed on this. So what is included in this minute? So as you can see, the last minute that was actually held, they decided to maintain the interest rate. They just decided to do the interest rate, to maintain the interest rate, and that is what we are going to be talking about, because this information that we get from this minute, it comprises of people who are in that meeting. It also comprises of why did these people decide now to keep the interest rate at that level, and if they decided to actually hike or cut the interest rate, then that minute is the one that the moment you just go through that, you will get everything in details. During this video, I'm going to be showing you the reason we are seeing the dollar actually trying to strengthen, and that is what we are going to be going through. Yeah, so it's almost the top of the hour. I know the time will just be running so fast, we'll just be looking at that minute, but I already know maybe some content that will be inside that minute, and it's just going to be very amazing. I know so many people will just be finding this later. Otherwise, I wish that they will be going through this so that they can know when we have the FOMC meeting, they can just be knowing what to be checking on and all that. So I'm going to be going at least one of the minute so that we can know what we are going to be expecting in this minute, and the speech that was delivered last time, what is comprises and what the clues we have towards that meeting, and this is going to be helping us so much. So this is the conference that was held on that year to that one conference that actually happened. If you can just want to go through this, then you can just go through that to hear what happened and what you can just be expecting from that. Some fact here they can just help you at least to know. Let's just check on the PDF the statement that he delivered at this time, so you can see the full speech that Charles Palmer gave on that conference, that transcript for press conference on January 31st 2024. This is it. It's actually here, so you can just go through this so that you can maybe have some clues of what you're just going to be getting from that from this statement that we are going to be getting. And one of the important things you can just be checking from this is this 2% goal. And look at this, this is very important, because one thing that you actually have to notice is that some of this information may be included in that minute. For example, this was the greetings. Inflations has eased from its high without significant increase in unemployment. That's very good news, but inflation is still too high. You can see, believing that inflation is actually too high, and yeah, that is what we are getting. That is what we get from the press conference last time. Ongoing press is bringing it down, not to assured, and the path forward is uncertain. I want to ensure that American people that we are fully committed to returning inflation to 2%. So they are very committed to bring the inflation to 2%. Last time, what did we see? We saw that inflations, we are expecting them to come, that is below 2.9%. But what we actually saw on last time CPI, we witnessed 3.1%, of which is actually moved above the percent, which means still the journey to curb this is still on, so which means because so many traders have been expecting now the Fed to come up with something to cut the interest rate and it to be that interesting. But you can see, according to the analyst, the expectations for the CPI to come as 2.9%, it was actually crossed. Let's just say the market printed something else which is different, and you can see this is the goal, 2% goal. Is this goal still achieved for them now to maybe start cutting the interest rate? No, but probably if the inflation was to come at 2.8%, the market could actually have continued to move in other directions. But that is what we got from the speech from the Powell last time, 2% goal. So that is interesting, and let's proceed and see. Okay, I'm looking at something. So that is what we can just be looking at. The inflation has already not come down to 2%, so that's one of the, probably there was a discussion on that, and the reason they actually decided to maintain the interest rate without cutting or without hiking, because they're just observing on how inflation rate is just doing. Formed meeting, just you can see this information. Fed just decided the policy to interest rate to remain unchanged to reduce our securities holding of the past 2 years. We have significantly tightened the stance of monetary policy. Our strong actions have moved policy rate well into restrictive territory. So this is a speech. Normally you can just go through this to get some information in a very brief form, and this is quite interesting. Recent indicators suggest that economic activity has been expanding at a solid pace. GDP growth in 4th quarter of last year came into 3.3% for 2023 as well. GDP expanded at 3.1%, boosted by strong consumer demand as well improving supply conditions. So normally one thing I actually noticed from this speech, that one of the things that actually very where these inflations and how the economy is performing, most generally they are just waiting to see how the economy is just adjusting itself, and considering the monetary policy, all those decisions to make this decision, it was not something that they are into at the moment. So probably there is the statement. You're just going to be getting more in details in the formed meeting minute that we are going to be that is going to be released in the next 40 minutes. So for those who are asking whether we are just going to, which directions are we going to be trending, obviously you can just be seeing around from this market, and that's why we've been seeing the US dollars trying to gain some strength all the way from 2028, because so there's something I actually taught you the last time on how to trend these things, because so many people have been expecting to receive this kind of information in a very detailed form, and that's why you can see now dollar started strengthening from evening hours. Now we can see something like gold moving down, DXY is actually gaining, and that is what we are just been getting. Probably the minute that we're just going to be getting is going to cause these at least these things to move so nicely. So this was the conversation and the question that was asked by the press. You can just go through all that and how you manage to answer those questions. So that was very interesting, because even these questions, they can just be helping you. So probably if you just missed that meeting and you just want to highlight so well on what is going to be happening, that you can just be going through this, so that you can see the questions that if you, and the same question concerning the US economy, you can just be going through this meeting, and they can help you highlight few issues that can help you to identify on how the economy is doing, and it is going to help you in one way or the other. So how does the minute look like? Because you can see minute is something like a PDF, somehow let's say even 10 pages and all that, which means it can just take some time. But what includes this is not the minute, but this was a press conference, press that was released that time. But I'm going to show you the minute, how it just look like, features that you can just be looking on that minute to know the information that you can just gather there that is going to be helping you. But for you now to know the minute that is just going to be released, the information that you can get, probably this guide can just help you to know what is just going to be happening. As well, from the other members of the Fed, you can just be getting the interviews, the speeches that you've been delivering, because everything is posted on the Federal Reserve platform. You can just be going through that so that you can be gathering information to want the economists to know what you just expect from that meeting. Yeah, so you can see that was the press conference transcript in terms of the PDF. It was just released around this. So let me just look for the meetings minute, how it just look like, so that I can show you what you actually have to be looking at. Meanwhile, you can see, let's just see how the market is doing. Let's see how the market is doing. Gold is trading at 2024. Selling at 2024. 30 minutes, around 30 minutes will just be there to see how this market is just going to be performing on that. For my side, I'll be looking more on gold, because I think it is mostly going to be affected by this. It's going to be affected by this. So for on my side, I'll be looking to see how this gold is going to be flying from. But remember, for those who have been know about how to trade the FOMC so well, they started these around evening hours, like when they saw the price is still at 2030. Now that was a very nice entry for you to actually short the market, because generally, you know what happened last time, the inflation was all that, so you expect the same thing. But consider the market to just move this, because all sort of traders are trying to find their position to enter into the market. So what I'm going to do here, if you want to assess the meeting, is very easy. The last minute, let's just check on the last minute what happened. It's very easy for you to assess, to know what you just included, and you can just be going through that so that you can know the next meeting when it just released, what you actually have to be like focusing on. So let's just check a small example of the last meeting. All you just have to do is to come to the Fed wall and this website, and then you can just search for FOMC meeting. The moment you just search that on their wall, and it's going to direct you around this area here. So we're just going to take at least one example from this, and it's just going to give us the date when this minute was released. So let me just like take at least one, and with okay, let me get 1 minute. It's around here, the PDF. So these are an example here. What do you see around this area? Look at that. Look at this. So this is what you see in the minute, and this is what is going to be actually be released, because this is like the minute. You can see the normal how the minute is released. You can see just the normal minute, and you can go through that. So so many traders will be reading this, and they'll be looking for the important. I don't know whether we can just see this because it's very small. Let me find the way to zoom in, because you can see first of all we have where you get like attendance. You can see you can just get the attendance who are in that meeting. Of course, you start with the chairman, vice chair, and this information. So this is normal what you just see. So I have already told you what you can just be expecting from this minute, at least this minute, what you can just get from this minute, those kind of information. And the minute dates will just be written here. This minute of Federal Open Market Committee, September 19, 2023. September 19th to 20th, 2023. So September, the minute is there between that one. So another one is just going to be released today. You can see all the attendance, okay, and their positions is there. What was discussed, development in financial market and open market operation. Let's just go and see the discussions to and the economy. What was about the economy around here? Staff economic outlook, GDP. They were discussing about the GDP here. That is GDP. Very interesting. You can see participants' view on current conditions and the economic outlook is around here. So you can see it's actually normally a very big things, but there are some people who actually can look at very important key factors here, and then they can just enter to that market. So someone is asking how you know how to trend this kind of the news where they're just going to be buying or selling. So what you can just give you, it can just give you some information like what normally happened last time. For example, let's say the one that we are going through is the last speech that was delivered, that was given by the chairman. But you can just be going through that, because whatever comes, whatever opinion he ended at that time on that meeting, probably that is the same thing, because it's almost the same period. It's the same thing that he could actually deliver from this meeting. If the information he gave, it gave a strong dollar on that side, then you can just be expecting probably to be seeing the same thing. So you can see even the voting that actually happened with the decision to leave the target range of Federal Reserve rate unchanged. You can see even after that, this is where you can see the final decisions after the minute after discussion of what just happened. This is voting, and then this you can see consistent with the committee decisions to leave the target range of Federal rate unchanged, the bond of governance of Federal Reserve system. This is actually the last, but the last one of September, because they have maintained their interest rate unchanged twice. And that is what we've been getting from this. So we just be expecting the same thing probably to be happening this time. So this is normally the content that you can see on a minute, but you can just be looking for something like GDP, CPI, all those things are just doing, and the reason they just decided to maintain the interest rate at that level. If you get that correct from that meeting, then you can just base your argument on whether to hold or sell the currency pair at that moment. But remember, when these people are doing all this analysis, everything is just happening to the market at that period. What's normally happening is that it is actually a lot of volatility, because the reason is how people interpret this news is different. We interpret these things differently. So we have like less than 30 minutes, which is 26 minutes, and that minute will just be released. Probably we can just go through important key factors, or I can just arrange the small note and then leave it because it was already late, and then you can just be going through that. Probably some people will be taking short, as I said, on terms of gold, because of that maybe they can push gold below 2020. And you actually have to know it's going to be probably very volatile, because the market normally moves so fast. The market moves so fast. If you can just move the market can just go up and down so very fast. That is one thing that you have to be aware of. So I'll be looking at technical signs to see what we can just be expecting from this market in terms of technical sign. Nice. Let me look at this. One thing is, if you are going to get this right on gold, if you are going to get this right on gold, that means you're going to be right in most of the pairs, so don't be worried by that. This screen is small. This screen is very small, I think. Let me switch to. You can see how actually CPI pushed this gold to this level of 1986. So this is the CPI that actually caused the gold to move for this level, and it's look like there's a bearish trend on gold, and this is the movement that we've just been getting with the time, and you can see this trend, high lows, low lows. That is what we have been getting in terms of gold, and that's makes it everything to be so interesting. So one thing that before even you ask me whether it's going to buy or sell, one thing is that I'm always prepared to their own directions. I'm always prepared for the change in case the market just moves against me, and then I just shift and move to that direction. So I'm always flexible. Flexibility is me, so I like being flexible, and that is one thing. But on this, maybe we are just going to be getting one thing that I said earlier is that meeting, it can just take time before you transcribe, before you get the important point that was released. But remember, we are all different, and that's why you can see this market moving all those sort of directions. And there are so many wise people who actually trended this even before, and that's why we're expecting at least to see something positive to be coming towards the dollar. And that's why so many people from morning up to this time, you can see as I said, around this area gold managed to hide around 2030 after being dropped all the way to 1987 by the CPI, and now after this you can see this boom. But in a sense, if you look at this market very carefully, you can see honestly speaking, the gold is trying to form a bearish move or after this, of which I consider this to be a breakout after this, where we end this market touching 2080 around 4 times, being a very strong support zone. But this shadow that was formed across this, that was crazy. That was crazy at that moment, and that's why you can see now from that period, now gold has just been trying to move this direction. And in case this market continues to move this, in case we get that, remember there are so many people who are trying to buy the gold, and the reason you can see something like gold is still holding strong at 2030 even after the CPI strong data we are getting from the US side about holding the interest rate steady. Then the reason we are getting this is because of geopolitical event. There are lots of wars that are happening all over, and so many people are still on the gold as the safe haven, and that is something interesting. It's like us people who actually were holding Bitcoin even when it dropped to 16,000. Very strong steam, and that's the same thing we can just see happening around this area. Okay. So focusing on gold, probably on this, let me just to see what is just going to be unfolding in that meeting. I'm being going personally, maybe tomorrow morning. I'll just be checking on what is going to be unfolding on that meeting to see whether we can get this market beyond pulled again at least 2,000 in terms for those who are trading gold, and probably this can just be very interesting because already, as I said, CPI has not yet come to. We have checked the press conference that was happening last time, where Paul is saying that the inflation we are expecting to come to 2%. The inflation CPI that we saw last time actually was averaging between that is 3.1, yeah, 3.1. Analysts expecting below that 2.8. It did not happen, so probably we may be seeing the market getting the DXY at least moving up. But remember, we are always prepared for everything. Just get prepared for everything that just happened to the market. Surprises are welcomed because of flexibilities. We are flexible people, so we have like 10 minutes to 15 minutes. I'm preparing my position to see, and one of the things that you can do anytime we have a meeting like this is very interesting, is scalping. So many people end up scalping a lot. So opening positions and closing, opening positions and closing, opening positions and closing is very important, because so many people are trying to find out the market is just going doing. But remember, there are smart people. You are smart people, and that's why you see most of retail traders are knocked out, because they are so smart people who can just see that minute in few seconds, and they can just know this is so interesting to actually buy the gold or sell the gold, or this is very important. Let's talk even about dollar. This is so good information that is going to strengthen the dollar. This is bad information is just going to weaken the dollar, because they are going to be looking at key important fact discussions that was made. GDP, economy, generally how the just economy is doing, and why is that they decided to maintain the interest rate last time. What about that? The decision that is going to be made after that. So that is something that can be very interesting from that. For those who have joined this live from the beginning, I've already explained what is that like. So we have been waiting at least to see whether we can get this market at least. Let me move to 15-minute time frame, because I said we can just at least let me hope we can just get below that is below 2015 and back again, and that is going to be so interesting from that. But in case we get it, because this is FOMC meeting, a lot of people are trying to find the positions. Market can just go up on that, but more on this, I'll remain to find the positions to sell this market. So I can just be waiting at 10 to find good positions, and then I can just enter from that, considering of what you're just going to be getting. But personally, I'll be going through that minute. The moment is first 10, and then I can drive to my decisions, so that if I have those positions that I have that are running, I'll be making solid decision from that. I can decide either to close or continue owning based on the information we are just going to be getting from that. Hello, El Jasala Splitter, how are you doing? I can see you. Lowboy Rens, I can see you. Thank you so much for joining this. Yep. So generally, that is what we can just be waiting to be seeing from this minute that we are going to be released in the next 10 minutes. The next 10 minutes, we have already gone through the last minute that was released. It was actually how many pages? 10 pages. Removing the conclusions, taking out the first page, second page. You can just go the third page to learn more about the staff review of economical situations, how the economy was just been doing on that period, of the financial situations that was happening. Okay, current conditions and outlook. Yeah, because if you get like less high percentage high percentage of people that is going to be voting across these things, and that's information. It's going to be very, very important. Okay, committee policy actions. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, that's very interesting. That is very interesting. You can see actually this minute is normally written in a very nice and good way, of which you can just be looking for very important point, and then boom, and you can, it is very easy to actually extract a very important point from that. Okay, those secretary, you see, those normally write these things, they know that. Okay, okay, that's interesting. That is interesting. So this meeting is so nice. Waiting to witness this scale. Okay, thank you so much. Buy or sell, I don't know. You know, when I say buy or sell, it depends on so it is very important. We focus on, you say, let's just focus on, go on DXY. Okay, we focus on, because if I say buy, someone will buy USD JPY, and the other one sell, and the other one buy Euro USD. So I don't know what you're talking about, because there are some pairs that can be highly affected like that. For example, if you check something like gold, normally we have very high volatility compared to like other pairs. Okay, so that's what we just be looking at. It's almost the top of the hour. Talked so much, so we're just going to be seeing what is just going to be happening from this market on. Something like gold is trading at 2022, 2023. That's amazing. Let's see what is going to be unfolded here. Okay, so most of scalpers, this is where they come in, because they like doing these things to the market, that is scalping. 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 So my positions is actually open. I'm waiting to see what is going to be unfolding across this area. So we have already talked about this. So for those who have been following, thank you so much. Let's see what is just going to be unfolding in the next 7 minutes. Preparing your positions. Thank you. I'll be waiting for, let me just come back after 3 minutes here. Yes, you can see what is happening here. You can see what is already happening. Some revelation coming out. Revelation are coming out. Okay. Thank you. Let me see what is just happening, because I think I have some open position right now. Let me look on, let me look on this. A lot of volatility to be witnessed right now. This is gold. Let's specifically look at this. Yep, like that. It's like that. So if you are watching this, make sure that you like this live. Make sure you like this and share it with your friends. I'll be so happy if you subscribe and follow up. Thank you. Mm. 2 minutes, 2 minutes, we are almost there. 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes. So my position that I'm going to be waiting here is going to be looking like this. Let me hope for this. Let me hope for something like this, and my exit will be across 2030 here, but my exit around 2010 there. So that is what I'm hoping for on this market. So this is being the cone. That is what I'm be looking to see. For any surprise, we are okay with that. We are patient on that side. But remember, for those who have been temping this, they actually observed that position all the way from that. They're already almost on the TP across that area, and that was across this area. The reason being, so many people knew actually this would happen, because I checked on that, and that is what we are expecting this market to come to, around that positions, and that was amazing. That was amazing. One minute to go. Let's see what is going to be unfolding here. I'll be checking on the screen to see what happens. Already the market is changing the colors. Traders are lending money. Okay. Yep, look at that. We have now the volatility going on. The minute is on, and those who are scribing that, they can just go through that. You see what is just happening through that minute. Your decisions based on that. Let's see. Although one thing that you actually have to notice is this, that gold traders are very strong. They have been ordering these things for the buy. Very strong guys. Very strong buyers. Oh, very unshakable. Very unshakable. Let's see what happens here, because we have already said it's just going to be selling towards that direction. Let's see what happens, because that is my hope, to run that direction. Okay. Are people asleep or what? Let me check on that minute a little bit to see whether we can just get some close. I don't think whether there's something new to this. Let me put there. Okay. Another move up, so I'm be looking to that minute because it can just take time to make some decisions. of what you are going to be getting here, and then that is the time you can base your argument to what can just be happening to this market. Gold is now trying to move the upper side, and 2025, let's see, volatility is always expected in this. Others buying, trying to fight with the sellers around this area. Okay, UT 500 at 420 is not yet moved, so we have, let me check the Nasdaq. How is Nasdaq doing? How is Nasdaq doing? On this So the minute is here, so I'll be trying to go through that, and then I'll see some information that I can just pull out from this, and probably it's just going to I'll be looking at this minute to see what we can just be the information that is. I'm going to be trying to pull some information that we have here, so we can be getting good position that we can just be entering from the market. Okay, someone is asking what is the movement of the gold to just be. You actually have to go through the minute if you are, you know how to just do that before you make cool decision from that. That is something that can be very interesting if you do that. Make sure first of all you go through the minute. It can just help you so much. It can help you so much based on the data that you're just going to be getting. So let's just see what is going to be unfolding this night till tomorrow. In terms of gold, let's see what is just going to be unfolding here. I'll be posting the at least some more information to on this, so that you can make some decision based on this. Thank you so much for those who have joined this live. Thanks to meet you. This can be somewhat frustrating for those who don't understand these things like this, and it can be so frustrating from that, because you can see market moving down, up and down, up and down. That is the movement probably you can just get from that. You can see now it's just building up and down, DXY Lucy gaining again. That is normally what you're going to be seeing from this market moving to that direction. So we will observing to see what we just get until tomorrow, and then probably we can make a very solid direction from that. But you can see today the market is not that volatile as usual. I'll be looking at that minute to see what is the problem, what is happening on that. And as a good trader, you actually have to make sure that your facts are right before you make very solid decisions that is based on the currencies. And after some people go through that minute, then after maybe some 20 minutes, 1 hour, you see good movement towards the market. You will see a very nice move probably on that. I've already checked it, and let me go through that, and then we'll see you too. So make sure that you subscribe. You can follow me on all social media platform at Dantech. Let's just let connect there on all social media platform. If you have any question, you can always leave it here. I will be checking on that. Have a good night, and thank you so much for your support and joining my lives always. Bye bye, and have a good night.